Uh, it means that the White House is hitting the ground running, which should not surprise anyone. This is the second Trump term. There's no learning curve. They know what they have to do. They know how to get it done. The
Hmm.
president's agenda is ambitious. He has promised America a leaner, less expensive, more efficient federal government.
Hmm.
That means that there is going to have to be agency restructuring, that programs are going to have to be moved around, that people are going to have to be let go. We do this routinely in the private sector. No one blinks. It's time these same kind of private sector initiatives were brought to the process of government.
Mhm. So, Vought has promised $9 trillion in spending cuts, including deep reductions to Medicaid and food assistance programs. How will this impact low income Americans and social safety nets?
Well, there's a lot of gloom and doom prediction that we never see actually play out, in fact. One of the things that we have to look at are the standards under which people are getting support in the social safety net.
Mm.
We want the social safety net to be temporary. We want it to provide assistance. We don't want it to be structured in such a way that once you get into the net, you can't get out of it because as you start to rise up, you lose the protections the net provides. That's going to take a whole rethink. That was part of what was behind the welfare reform. It was tremendously successful that passed when Bill Clinton was president. The
Mm.
idea that people had to show that they were looking for work, that they were trying to take care of themselves if they wanted to get welfare payments. It moved people off welfare
Mm.
ultimately, which is what you want. As Ronald Reagan said, the best welfare program is a job,
Mm.
someone who can take care of themselves and their own family. And I think that Trump wants to move in that same direction.
Okay. One of his most controversial plans is Schedule F, which allows mass firings of career civil servants. What could this mean for the stability of federal agencies?
Most federal agencies are incredibly bloated. I worked in one where the office receptionist had amassed so much leave time that she only worked 4 days a week, which was perfectly legal and fine for her, but didn't work out so well for the rest of us in the office who needed a receptionist.
Hmm.
Um, there's room for cutting. It is almost impossible to fire a federal civil servant, even for cause. Um, you have now government officials
Mhm.
who are talking openly of resisting within their agencies the directives and initiatives of the duly elected president of the United States. That's anti-democratic. That's some people might call that resistance. Some people might call that an insurgency. If you want to work for the executive branch, you have to be willing to follow the dictates of the leader of the executive branch.
Hmm.
There are too many people. This idea that we have a buyout, which is something that is commonly done in private sector to reduce employment expenses at upper levels, people at or nearing retirement age, retirement service.
Mhm.
Federal judges put a stop to that, at least for the time being, but it's the kind of thing the Fed should be able to offer. And people who don't want to do the job ought not to be protected by their civil service protections.
Hmm.
We have elections for a reason. Sometimes those reasons are to endorse a radical change in policy, which is what I think the 2024 election was. It was a repudiation of the Biden Harris progressive agenda and an admission that America liked things better the way they were under Trump. They wanted to move in that direction.
Hmm.
Everybody that works within a federal agency should be helping row the canoe in that same direction.
Okay.
If they want to row in the other direction to cause confusion, then they should be tossed out on their ear.
Mhm. Vought has also frozen federal grants for programs deemed woke, including education and climate initiatives. How have states and nonprofits reacted?
The grant recipients obviously have reacted badly because their money's being cut off. But we are $30 trillion in debt. We're a $30 trillion a year economy. We can't go on much longer without America becoming Greece circa 2000, and that wouldn't be good for the rest of the world. We have to find places to cut. And as valuable as research into why rodents may behave in a transgendered fashion might be, it's not critical, it's not necessary, and it needs to go, at least for now.
Mhm.
We also not ought to be paying other countries to do scientific research that it's illegal by act of Congress to do here in the United States, like gain of function research, which is what many people believe produced the COVID virus that caused the world to shut down for a year.
Mhm.